to another Beauty Ninjas Mask Monday. And this is a recovery series. We do talk about drugs and addiction and recovery things. If you have someone in your family or someone that you know that struggles with it, or they know someone that struggles with it, I have in my description box a website. And if you press on it, it gives you a toll-free number that's confidential. And it's for free. So today I'm going to talk a little bit, I've already talked in the last video about integrating myself into outpatient treatment. So I had to do this treatment for 2 years, okay? The first year was pretty rough, and I had just found me a sponsor, and she had gave me some assignments, and I had just taken a job at McDonald's, which I swore I would never work at again, but I did. And I was explaining how I use the steps in my daily life to move on instead of going into old behaviors. I had to stop and pause a minute, and try to respond differently or not respond at all. But the mask today I'm using is called the Face Shop. It's called the Solution, and it's a collagen mask, and it is a firming face mask. Oh, please do your job. I got this one from Renee, and she gave me 3 of them. They are all in like these little test tube vials. I remember when we got these, Jovina was like, oh, they're just so cool. There's something about these test tubes, And some people do really like to have like test tubes and stuff. I don't know why, but that's, oh, okay, this is another one of them weird ones. Okay, I think this is like a 2-piece one. I think so. I don't know, it's folded weirdly. No, it's not a 2-piece. It's a 1-piece. I'm talking about a swimsuit or something. Look at the webbing. It's got like these, I don't know if you can see it very well. It's got like, here, you might can see it in a minute. Well, the webbing from the mask isn't like that, but from the paper, it's got like these little breathing holes. Oh, smells very mild and pleasant. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong way. Okay, so let's put this on. Ooh. Oh, here we go. That's another good one. I can tell lately I've been actually grabbing for something, and I keep reaching, and I keep getting these really good ones. Like the Tony Moly pineapple and the Beyond one, so far my favorites, but this one feels super, super good. But they never fit me right, but that's okay. Like the tomato one I always look like someone from The Others because it's just really weird. I look like Corey Haim, not Corey Haim. From Slipknot. Anyways, oh, beautiful. Oh, the serum. I love the serum. I like to put on my eyes. Yeah, it might be not be right, but that's just what I do. Love it. Okay, continuing on. Okay, I love it. Thank you, Renee. So the schedule when you get a job, it will wear on you because this is kind of like, so now I'm not down to 90 and 90. I'm not down to having a meeting every single day. I'm down to having 5 a week. And I try my best to get them all done during the weekday so I can have the weekend for myself, because back then the weekend was after Friday. You got your Saturday and Sunday to chill. And that's like, time is very precious when you're in recovery. And this is kind of like how my how my day went. I would wake up at 5. I'd get dressed and I would walk because I still had to walk. I would walk to a meeting that started at 7:30. No, it started at 7. And when they got out, we went to group, which started at 8. And then we stayed there until 12, sometimes 12:30, depending. And then I'd go home, get dressed, and go to work. And then I'd come home and I would come home and do like my assignments, whatever my sponsor gave me. And so I was always very knocked out, like right from the rip. So I really enjoyed to have my weekends to go walk to the mall and everything. But I was in a position at that time, they put me on a budgeting. Like, so all of my bank account information, because I had gotten my ID and I finally opened up a bank account. I gave them statements every month, and I had to justify things that I bought. And sometimes it makes me, I still have it in me when I buy things, because, in the beauty community, I tend to spend, And this year I'm really trying to budget on other things rather than makeup. So, so you weren't allowed to get your nails done or your hair done, hair colored or anything like that. Now, if you had a job and your boss said, "Oh yeah, I don't mind if you get your hair colored," you could ask, and they would say yes or no. Sometimes they said yes, because I had my hair rose gold for one summer, and they said yes. But that's because I had an established spot where I could stay and get my check without having to worry about getting necessarily fired. Um, because they want you to put your priorities first. If you have a bad credit score, or if you have other things you have to pay for, like if you need to get your license, for example, or go to DUI school, you should be paying that first and not your fingernails or your hair and clothes and stuff like that. So I was on this budgeting like to the T. Dollar Tree was my best friend. It was right beside McDonald's. So after McDonald's, I went and bought stuff from the Dollar Tree, and then I walked home. And I mean, I walked home with every weather. I remember walking home and wringing out my clothes because it was wet. And I remember walking home. I remember walking to and from work for the longest, drenched in sweat because of the heat. It gets really hot here. And so the kitchen was cool compared to outside. So the first thing I had to save for, I had 3 DUIs. One of them was because I was crack-a-lacking, and they found paraphernalia and all that, and I got busted. One of them, and 2 other ones were DUIs, like straight up DUIs. And so after, you know, the judge said, if you go to treatment and you work on your DUI, we will drop all the fines from all of them. And all we want you to do is go for the class, pay for the class, and pay for your reinstatement. So I did. There is a diner that I worked at right before I went to McDonald's, and our lady in recovery, she owned the diner. So I was a dishwasher, and I got some good money. I did it twice a week, and with that money, I paid for my DUI. I went online, I registered, and then I went to the class, and it was actually just kind of like treatment. They talk about, drinking and drugging and stuff like that. And so, of course, I passed the class. And you do like a little assessment before you do your DUI class, which doesn't affect if you pass or not. But at the end of it, they give you the grades from your assessment on the third day after you pass. And I did pass. And they give me the assessment. It says, we think you need a drug addiction treatment, and I'm like, I'm already in treatment. So I finally got my DUI, and I saved the money from McDonald's because, see, when you start working in treatment, you get to keep your check for the first 3 months, and after that, they take 30% off. And so I saved those checks, and I went to go pay my reinstatement. Come to find out, when I go to pay my reinstatement, the lady was so shook about, me walking and getting my DUI class done and saving my money and being in treatment. She erased all the reinstatements except for the $200 one, which is to get your license back. And I got it, and I was super shook, and I wanted to have a car, so I saved and got me a car. Right, my mama helped because it was my stepdad's car. He bought him a new one, and he didn't want his anymore. So I got it from him. So I went ahead and did that, but I did it without treatment's permission. So I wasn't allowed to have my car. They still made me walk for a whole another year. So I ended up having the car brought up to here in Statesboro, and it was parked in the treatment center's parking lot. And on break, I was allowed to go out, crank it up so that the battery would still stay alive, and just look at it and relax for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I had to turn it off and give the keys back to the counselor. And yeah, that shit pissed me off because I saw people come in right after me, and they would get their car right away. I saw people getting all kinds of things they're allowed to do right away that I had to wait for. And so there is no doubt I was comparing myself. But what I realized afterwards is that everybody's journey is different, just like everybody's past is personal. Everybody's recovery is a personal journey you go through. And my counselors know that, and so they have a personal setup for me because I was really hardcore. They didn't want me to get things right away. And so, but anyways, how many minutes we got? Oh, okay, 10 minutes. That's good. Well, I'll continue with how I got my car in the next one. And my first step down and my first visit home. My first visit home was just way different than I thought it was. Anyways, I'm going to take off this mask. I don't pat it into my skin. I know people say so. I think when I do this, I'm actually pressing it in enough. I just like to just do this right here. I really do. Oh, it feels really, really good. I don't know if I'm supposed to rinse it off or not, but I can tell in like 10 minutes. If it gets like this really, really sticky feeling, I will rinse it off. But right now it seems to be doing me very well. So I thank you guys for watching so much. Please check out the ladies in the description box and listen to what they've got to say or what they've got to show. There's a lot of show and tell here. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you so much.